So we started talking about this kind of secondary waterfall layout in the office this morning, but here we are on site, and here's the bottom waterfall, which is like 2.5 foot high. It's going to break into the pool. And what we talked about was how this secondary waterfall is going to face the hot tub, which is right there. The hot tub's right there. So we're going to bring it probably on an angle and tuck it back in here, right? So this is the grotto. The grotto waterfall is going to be about up here, breaking off on the grotto, right? So it's going to be up here, which is 8 feet from the pool. And then the steps, the slide is going to be here, and it's going to go that way. And then the steps are going to go down that way. So the key was, we wanted this secondary waterfall not to be the same height as the grotto. We want to step it down, okay? But we want to step it down so it's kind of down, and it kind of follows the transition of the steps going that way. So it's probably going to be around right here at this elevation, a little bit lower than this one, and it's going to be twisted, so it's facing the hot tub. So you're going to have this beautiful waterfall that cascades off and breaks down into a stream and then rolls into the pool. Then the boulders are going to wrap around here like this, and there's going to be a planting bed right here. All right, so this is going to look amazing. And then the steps are going to come down, and the waterfall will be tucked into the hillside with the steps behind it with some planting spaces in between. So it'll have this super organic, natural, it'll be dramatic, but it's also going to be built into the structure, so it'll kind of fit, right? And that's the key. The key is scale, scope, planting space, and fit, so that it all works together. Yeah, so here we are inside this deluxe grotto that we're building. As you can see, the grotto walls were built all the way around, huge boulders all the way around, and you can see how big these rocks are, right? These are huge boulders. That's how we build our walls. The walls of these grottos are thick, real stone, and then the grotto top sits on top. So this baby's all built, dramatic rocks throughout, and then we've got the grotto top, our natural stone, concrete reinforced grotto that we fabricated, which we've showed you guys. So you can see, right? It's all cemented in, and when you look up, all stone, right? And then we're going to come in and we're going to point some cement in between these big rocks. But this thing's looking awesome, super natural looking, super dramatic when it's all done. Big sheet of water going to break off the front. Got a bench here to kind of hang out. So stay tuned, it's coming along really well. Yeah, so here we are, we're standing at the back of the grotto, okay, that we built. And this is our natural stone, concrete reinforced grotto top that we've showed you guys in previous videos. So it's installed. We've got these two large grotto rocks flanking it on the sides, which is going to be kind of the flanking rocks of this upper waterfall that's going to ultimately be above my head, that's going to cascade down. And like we had said before, the top of this is concrete, and then we filled this all in with large pieces of flagstone that will then point with cement. So this whole thing will be finished with stone when we're all done, but the substructure is our concrete reinforced grotto. So it's coming along awesome. You can see the stones in, it's filling in up against the rocks. So when this gets all finished and pointed, it'll just look like this awesome cohesive space. We did the same thing with the underside. So a big part of a waterfall is water, right? Hence the name. So what comes into play a lot is the volume of water we need for these waterfall projects, right? So this one has a big grotto waterfall and a big slide. So each one of those components needs its own pump and its own plumbing and its own set of suctions that pulls water from the pool. So we have to design all this with the pool company in the construction of the project, right? It's obviously part of it, and it's not something you can add afterwards because all these plumbing lines get ran into the shell of the pool. So in this particular project, we have one 3-inch line. This is big plumbing. One 3-inch line that's going to supply the grotto. So we're going to cut this down. It's going to be brought in. There'll be a second waterfall here with a basin on the top. The water will run into the basin and will spill over the rocks and cascade off the grotto. Then the second line will be cut down and ran to the slide. The slide's going to kind of start here and it'll run that way. So we're going to tie those both in so that each one of those features has plenty of water so that the slide's a lot of fun and the waterfall gives you a nice dramatic flow. So you can see here how our master project managers laid out these rocks. And this might look pretty simple. They just put a bunch of rocks in, but there's a lot to this. Number one is this height on purpose, right? Because this is where the slide's going to go, right? So this rock has to be the right rock in the right spot at the right time. It has to be high enough where it keeps the slide off the water, but low enough where it's not too high, and it also has to be flat, right? So this rock is the perfect rock to fit the space. The slide is going to sit like this, right? And then this rock is perfect because the slide rolls up like this, and it's going to come to about right here. Perfect rock, because this rock is high enough to cover the slide, but low enough where someone doesn't get hurt. If a kid comes down with their arms out, they clear the rock. So no one ends up in the emergency room, right? We don't want anybody ended up in the emergency room on the Saturday afternoon 4th of July party, right? We all agree on that, right? So then this also has to transition up to the grotto. So this is perfect, right? The way this is laid out, the way they transition down here, high enough, flat, the slide's going to sit here like this, then there'll be another big rock here, and then another flatter rock there, right? And the slide's going to wrap around and then go up and kind of come sort of up here. So it's going to look awesome when it's all done. Guys are doing a dynamite job. Stay tuned.